thunder of hooves, a dark ripple beneath brown water, then impact. Welcome to the Serengeti Mara, where every step is a wager and predators right the margins of life. This is Ultimate Predators, when predator attack. Across these plains, nearly 2 million wildebeest surge on a journey of almost 3,000 kilometers. They do not just chase rain, they drag the entire savanna's future behind them. 250,000 will not make it, but their sacrifice turns dust back into grass. Even death is recycled here. From cracked grasslands to the Mara River's crocodile gauntlet, from acacia shade to alkaline lakes so caustic they can reach pH 10.5, this land is a mosaic of extremes. In waters too harsh for fish, microalgae bloom, and lesser flamingos gather by the millions, painting the horizon pink, while raptors scan for a moment's weakness. Lions hold court on golden ridges, cheetahs sprint like living lightning, hyenas test the night. Leopards vanish into leaf and shadow. Crocodiles wait where courage meets current. Tell us in the comments where you are watching from and which hunter you think rules this realm. Sharpen your senses. Our first encounter waits at the river's edge, where patience has scales and the current chooses sides. No roar, no sprint, just a shadow on stilts that turns a quiet pool into an ambush zone. When the water ripples, the strike is already on its way. Meet the saddle-billed stork of East Africa's rain-fed wetlands, from Ndutu's seasonal pans to the lazy bends of big rivers. That shock of a bill, red and black with a golden saddle, looks ceremonial. But it is precision hardware for a silent predator. Standing up to 1.5 meters tall with a wingspan over 2.7 meters, the saddle-billed stork is one of Africa's largest storks and one of its most striking. Nature painted it in ink and ivory, a gleaming black back and neck, crisp white underparts, and jet-black flight feathers that unfurl like velvet sails. Long scarlet legs lift the body above reeds and shallow water, while slightly splayed toes spread weight so it can ghost across mud without sinking. The bill is the headline. Ruler straight, red with a black band through the middle and a raised yellow frontal shield, the saddle at its base. Males show 2 small yellow wattles at the bill, and their eyes are dark. Females flash lemon yellow irises, a neat field mark in a bird built like a javelin. That long S-curved neck is a coiled spring, releasing into lightning jabs that spear fish, frogs, and the unlucky lizard. Broad wings give explosive lift from a standstill, handy when crocodiles lurk, and carry it between scattered pans with effortless, kite-like glide. Tight, glossy plumage sheds water, A nictitating membrane sweeps the eye like a clear eyelid during splashy strikes. Even the colors work as signals, bold badges that help lifelong pairs recognize each other across glare and distance. In a world of ambush, the saddle-billed stork is stealth, precision, and poise, on stilts. Dawn lays a silver sheen over the pans, and the saddle-billed stork clocks in without a sound. It hunts by patience, not panic, wading belly deep at most, lifting those scarlet stilts with metronome calm. The bill stays just above the surface, then dips and sweeps, part tactile, part visual hunting. A slow glide, a freeze, and a lightning jab that turns a fish, frog, or unlucky lizard into breakfast. When the sun climbs, it shifts tactics, working the shaded margins where small fish hold, or giving a few gentle foot taps to stir life from the silt. Missed strikes are rare. That ruler-straight bill is a spear balanced on a coil spring neck. Midday brings thermoregulation and maintenance. The bird stands tall to catch wind, droops its wings slightly to vent heat, and preens oil through its glossy plumage so water beads off during splashy strikes. Between patrols, it will loft on warm air to scout new pools, then ghost back down to the waterline. Danger is read as carefully as prey. A crocodile's ripple earns a crisp detour to shallower ground. An eagle overhead has the bird stepping closer to cover. When predators attack, the stork's answer is altitude, 2 wing beats, and it is above the problem. For a bird this bold, its social life is minimalist. Saddle-billed storks are mostly solitary hunters, defending rich stretches of wetland from rival storks with tall postures, bill clattering, and purposeful chases. Yet beneath that distance lies devotion. They form long-term pairs and hold territories year-round, often for years, meeting at favored roost trees or nest sites with understated ceremony, mutual preening, synchronized poses, and that wooden rattle of bills where voices would be. Nesting is a high-rise operation. The pair builds a broad stick platform in a tall riverside tree, lining it with reeds and fresh greens. Both parents share the work. They swap incubation duties, roughly a month on the calendar, and take turns standing guard. Chicks hatch into a world of patience and precision. Adults shade them from crushing heat, bring water and food by regurgitation, and keep the platform immaculate. Fledging takes weeks, not days. Young birds learn by watching, how long to wait, when to strike, where the crocodile's line begins. They linger on the territory until confidence catches up with wings, then drift out to claim quiet water of their own. In a landscape that loves a crowd, the saddle-billed stork chooses a different rule. One partner, one patch, and a lifetime of silent coordination. As a silent apex of the shallows, the saddle-billed stork trims fish fry, tadpoles, and small reptiles, keeping wetland food webs in balance and letting aquatic plants breathe. Shuttling between seasonal pans and river bends, it ferries nutrients in guano and seeds on damp toes, subtly stitching scattered waters into one living system. Its toolkit is pure precision: ruler-straight bill for visual and tactile strikes, a nictitating membrane to protect the eye mid-splash, long stilted legs with slightly splayed toes to glide over mud, and a coiled neck that converts stillness into speed. Black and white plumage helps manage heat, vascular legs dump excess warmth, high treetop nests lift eggs beyond many jaws. When predators attack, crocodiles below, eagles above, explosive lift and wide sight lines are the escape plan. The species is currently listed as least concern, but drained wetlands, disturbance, and entanglement chip at its margins, reminding us that quiet water needs guardians. In a world that celebrates loud hunters, the saddle-billed stork is proof that mastery can be almost silent, a symbol of fidelity, poise, and the fragile beauty that survives when wild water is left to be wild. A leaf rocks lazily, then a slingshot snaps and a fly simply is not there. When predators attack, the forest's slowest mover turns invisible. When it attacks, speed does the talking. Meet the panther chameleon, Furcifer pardalis, from Madagascar's humid coastal forests. A walking rainbow with turret eyes and a coiling anchor-strong tail, it speaks in color and hunts without taking a step. Sculpted thin and tall, the panther chameleon's body is laterally compressed like a leaf, with a low casque on the head and a saw of tiny spines down the back. Males can reach 16 to 20 inches and burst with reds, blues, and emeralds. Females are smaller, subtler, until they are not. Those colors come from layered skin, dark melanophores and yellow or orange pigments over iridophores packed with nanocrystals. By tuning the spacing of those crystals, the lizard shifts which wavelengths bounce back: calm greens, flirting blues, or the dark "do not mess with me" of stress. Eyes sit in scaly turrets, lids fuse to pinholes. Each eye swivels independently for a near 360-degree scan, then locks both forward for depth when it is time to shoot. Zygodactyl feet, 2 toes forward, 2 back, clamp branches like clothespins, while a prehensile tail acts as a 5th limb and a safety rope when predators attack. Up front, a coiled tongue more than twice the body length loads like a spring. An accelerator muscle and elastic collagen unleash it at around 5 meters per second. The sticky tip pancaking prey in a blink. Daylight is the chameleon's shift. At sunrise, a panther chameleon eases into a patch of sun, darkening slightly to drink heat, then cools to greens as it begins the slow hunt. It does not chase. Why sprint when the forest delivers? Turret eyes sweep opposite directions, mapping leaves, flies, and danger. When a target lines up, both eyes lock, the body freezes, and the tongue launches. More than twice the body length, hitting at about 5 meters per second. Meal gone, it chews quietly, then resumes its gentle leaf rock, a metronome that sells the illusion of wind. It sips dew from leaves, sheds in papery patches, and by noon retreats to dappled shade. When predators attack, hawk shadow, snake glide, a lemur too curious, the plan flips. Color drops to broken greens and browns. The lizard slides to the far side of the branch, putting wood between itself and teeth. It flattens, hisses, gapes, and if the moment turns desperate, that tail, usually a seatbelt, unclips and the chameleon lets go, dropping like a dead leaf into understory safety. After dark, it sleeps on twig tips, pale and exposed, counterintuitive, until you notice the trick. The slightest vibration wakes it before claws arrive. Panther chameleons are introverts with a loud wardrobe. They live mostly alone, each adult holding a patch of forest it knows by branch and sunbeam. Territory talk is done in color. Relaxed greens mean just passing, while males flash electric reds and blues in a broadside pose, body flattened, ribs wide, to look larger. Most disputes end with a stare down and a slow, stiff march. If neither backs off, there is grappling and short, jerky lunges, but the color language usually saves them from risky fights. Females run the most important signal system of all, soft hues when receptive, dark, contrasting gravid patterns when they are not, backed by hissing, and a firm headbutt if a male cannot take a hint. Courtship is careful. A male approaches in slow focus, colors pulsing. A receptive female allows a brief pairing, then the two part ways. Weeks later, she climbs down to dig a tunnel in soft soil and lays a clutch, often dozens of eggs, seals it, and disappears. No nursery, no babysitting. Hatchlings surface months later already miniature hunters, solitary from day one. In a forest where predators attack without warning, this distance, this diplomacy in color, is how chameleons keep their energy for the only fight that matters, staying unseen. Panther chameleons are the forest's quiet pest control, trimming swarms of leaf-eating insects and passing that energy up the chain to raptors, snakes, and small carnivores that take them in turn. Their toolkit is precision. Nanocrystal iridophores shift color for social signals and temperature control. Turret eyes sweep nearly 360 degrees to spot both prey and danger without a step. A spring-loaded tongue snatches insects at 5 meters per second. Zygodactyl feet and a prehensile tail clamp. Branches like living clamps. When predators attack, they flatten, darken, slide to the branch's far side, or simply drop, leaf-like, into cover. At night, they sleep on twig tips, an alarm that vibrates before claws arrive. Habitat loss in Madagascar frays this web. Fewer branches mean fewer places to disappear. A hunter by silence and a poet in color, the panther chameleon embodies the spirit of survival, answering when predators attack with calm, craft, and a vanishing act. Keep the forest, and the rainbow keeps breathing. A leopard melts through the Kodala undergrowth, spots fixed on a flash of blue fire. When predators attack, the peafowl answers with sound, shimmer, and a vertical burst into the trees. This is the Indian peafowl of India's Kodala forest, the peacock with a jeweled train that bends sunlight, and the peahen in careful earth tones built to disappear. In a world of ambush hunters, their beauty is both invitation and armor. The male is painted in electric sapphire from crown to breast, topped with a delicate fan-shaped crest, like a royal antenna. Behind him trails the famous tail, actually elongated upper tail coverts, unfurling into a living screen spangled with hundreds of eye-like ocelli. Each eye is a tiny, light machine. Microscopic platelets in the feather barbules scatter and reflect, turning greens to golds and blues that shift with every step. When he shivers, the train, quills rasp into a rustle that travels farther than you might guess, part theater, part signal. Broad, rounded wings, chestnut and cream up close, are built for explosive lift, not distance. One savage wing beat, and he is rocketing to a branch beyond a leopard's leap. Long, springy legs deliver quick sprints around 16 kilometers per hour and end in sharp claws. Males carry heel spurs for close quarters defense. The peahen trades glitter for survival, mottled browns and grays that dissolve into leaf litter. Big eyes set high give a wide field, the better to spot the twitch of whiskers. When predators attack, leopard, jackal, or python, the plan is simple. Flash, pivot, and vanish upward, leaving only a fading shimmer among the trees. Dawn in Kodala starts in the treetops. Peafowl roost high through the night, then parachute down branch by branch when the light and warmth feel right. Breakfast is a mixed plate. Tender shoots, fallen figs, seeds, beetles, termites, plus the occasional small snake or scorpion pecked into compliance. They scratch leaf litter like little turkeys, then pause to dust bathe and preen, a train that big needs daily maintenance. As the sun climbs, males pick display courts, small clearings they keep swept clean, and begin the show. Train fanned, body pivoting to keep the sun behind them, so the iridescence detonates in the peahen's view. The famous shiver turns quills into a rustling speaker. Low notes ripple through the feathers while he rattles and steps sideways in a slow, hypnotic circle. Life here is lived under surveillance. High, piercing May-aw calls stitch the forest together. Territory talk, yes, but also alarms. When predators attack, a leopard's glide, a jackal's rush, a python's coil, the response is practiced. Freeze, then explode. Peahens sprint at up to 16 kilometers per hour, trains tucked. Peacocks kick off with a thunder of wings, rocketing into branches just beyond a cat's leap. Safety for peafowl is vertical. Peafowl run on quiet rules. Outside the breeding season, males drift in small bachelor bands and roost communally. As courtship nears, they stake out display courts in loose leks, each male advertising to passing peahens. There is no marriage here. Polygyny rules. A few dominant males, often older with flawless trains and stamina to rattle for hours, win most matings. Disputes are more show than slaughter. Head-low struts, wing flashing. Then, if lines are crossed, short, savage spur bouts and chases that end with one bird airborne and dignity slightly dented. Peahens form small foraging parties and handle all parenting. A ground nest, well hidden, 3 to 6 eggs, about 4 weeks of incubation while the male keeps showing off elsewhere. Chicks hatch precocial, miniature long-legged explorers that can follow within hours. The hen is their world. She leads them to cover, murmurs with soft clucks, and at dusk guides them up to low branches, climbing higher as they grow. Group life is cooperative without a meeting agenda. One bird often plays sentinel while the rest feed. They eavesdrop too, tuning in to the alarm calls of deer and monkeys. In turn, deer often heed a peafowl's siren. And when predators attack, the formation tightens. Hen at the rear guard, youngsters ahead, a blur of legs and wings arrowing toward the nearest tree. Peafowl are busy custodians of Kodala's forest floor. By scratching through leaf litter for seeds, figs, beetles, termites, and the odd small snake or scorpion, they churn soil, scatter seeds, and trim insect surges before they bite crops and saplings. Their loud, piercing alarms ripple through the understory, warning deer and monkeys, an early warning network that can spoil a leopard's hunt. Droppings ferry nutrients, and communal roosts concentrate them beneath favored trees. Adaptations meet danger head-on. Peahens wear perfect camouflage. Peacocks gamble on sexual selection with that iridescent train, but carry spurs, long legs, and explosive lift for a vertical escape when predators attack. Big eyes, sharp ears, and high roosts stack the odds. Listed as least concern and protected in India, they still face habitat loss and illegal feather hunting. Beauty with a price tag. In a forest of ambush and silence, the peafowl turns light into language and danger into altitude. A symbol of resilience that reminds us some battles are won by seeing first, sounding the alarm, and rising above when predators attack. What if beauty was a biohazard label? When predators attack, the monarch turns a mouthful of orange into a lesson a bird never forgets. This is the monarch butterfly, drifting over Texas wildflowers and across North America. A paper-thin traveler that rides the wind more than 4,500 kilometers to the Oyamel firs of central Mexico. Its blazing orange and ink wings are not just gorgeous, they are a warning sign powered by milkweed chemistry. Painted by nature in sunset orange crossed with inky black veins and rimmed in white polka dots, the monarch wears a pessimitism like armor. That pattern broadcasts a truth baked into its body. As a caterpillar, it dined on milkweed and banked cardiac glycosides, or cardinalides, that make predators nauseous. First-time birds that attack quickly gag, wipe their beaks, and remember, the billboard works. A 9 to 10 centimeter wingspan of wafer light, overlapping scales, forms efficient airfoils. Black pigment soaks up morning sun for takeoff, while long forewings and a sturdy thorax of flight muscle favor soaring and glide efficiency over sprinting. Males carry small black scent patches on the hindwings. Females show thicker, darker veins. Huge compound eyes read the sky. Clubbed antennae house the circadian clocks needed for a time-compensated sun compass, and light-sensing proteins help them key into the Earth's magnetic cues on overcast days. A coiled proboscis sips nectar to refuel the migration engine, and spined legs taste milkweed leaves. When predators attack, the monarch's colors speak first, and the chemistry makes sure the message sticks. Mornings start with a solar charge. In Texas fields, a monarch hangs like a leaf, opens those orange panels, and soaks up heat until the flight muscles hum. Then it is fuel management. Sip nectar, ride a tailwind, glide to the next bloom. Migratory supergeneration adults delay reproduction and turn into endurance athletes, steering by a time-compensated sun compass and, on cloudy days, faint magnetic cues. By afternoon, they ladder up on thermals, banking free kilometers toward the Sierra Madre. By evening, they tuck into sheltered roosts, cedars, oaks, or, in Mexico, Oyamel firs, saving energy through the cold. Danger is never off the route. Paper wasps and praying mantises can snatch distracted nectar feeders. orb weavers box clever with sticky math. Most birds learn fast. One bite brings bitter cardiac glycosides and a very public beak wiping. But a few specialists in Mexico, like grosbeaks and orioles, can stomach what others cannot. For the caterpillars, daily life is trench warfare. They bleed milkweed leaves to drain sticky latex, then feed cleanly. When predators attack, the adult's best play is visibility. Do not eat me, you will regret it. And the rest is strategy. Altitude, tailwinds, and 1,000 safe decisions in a row. Monarchs are not social in the lion pride sense. They are a crowd, not a committee. Yet migration makes them look communal. At night, hundreds to millions roost together, cloaking branches in living quilts. Clustering buffers cold, shares humidity, and dilutes risk. If a predator strikes, odds say it will not be you. But concentration also attracts the few birds that can handle the toxins, so the colony's defense is numbers, not combat. Come spring in Mexico, the blanket unravels. Males patrol sunlit glades, flashing those hindwing scent patches. Quick courtships lead to matings, and the northbound wave begins. Farther up the map, females home in on milkweed by scent and chemistry, laying single eggs on tender leaves. That plant is the monarch's lifelong partner and shield. It feeds the larva, arms it with toxins, and shapes how bitter each butterfly becomes. The relationship web sprawls outward. Monarchs pollinate countless wildflowers, and even their warning colors recruit lookalikes like the viceroy, reinforcing the do not eat orange lesson for birds. When predators attack, the monarch relies on the quiet strength of associations: trees for shelter, winds for lift, milkweed for armor, and on the wisdom of many wings moving as one. Across prairies, Texas flyways, and Mexico's fir forests, monarchs stitch ecosystems together. They pollinate a broad cast of wildflowers on the southbound and northbound legs, while caterpillars prune milkweed and return nutrients as frass. Their warning colors do community work too. One nauseating bite teaches birds to avoid orange and black, easing pressure on other toxic lookalikes. At the winter roosts, millions funnel nutrients to the forest floor, and yes, feed a few specialists like grosbeaks and orioles. The food web cashes every check. Adaptations are elegant. Milkweed cardinalides sequestered as armor, a genetic compass using the sun, and, when clouds win, the Earth's magnetic field, long glider wings for energy thrift, and reproductive diapause for the marathon. When predators attack, the monarch answers with chemistry, visibility, and the wisdom of many wings. Fragile only at first glance, the monarch is courage painted in orange, a traveler that turns attack into memory and a migration into legend. When predators attack, it reminds us that beauty can be a shield and that survival can span generations. A cheetah explodes from the grass like a loosed arrow. Surely the punchline is already written. But the clown with warts answers with physics. Low gears, tight angles, and tusks that turn pursuit into regret. Meet the common warthog of Malamala's sun-baked savanna, a compact grazer that looks comical until the claws come out. Those facial warts, curving ivory tusks, and a bristled mohawk do not play for laughs. They advertise a survivor built for sprints and skirmishes. Warthogs wear a dust-gray coat sparsely bristled, topped by a mane that rises when alarmed, like a warning banner in the wind. The head is all business, thickened pads of skin, the famous warts, shield eyes and cheeks during clashes and through thorn. Two pairs of tusks define the profile. The upper curve outward in a sweeping smile, while the lower are sharper, chisel-like blades that do the real cutting when a cornered hog whips its head. Short, piston-strong legs and a low center of gravity deliver instant acceleration past 50 kilometers per hour and let them snap into zigzags that trip a cheetah's rhythm. High-set eyes and mobile ears keep watch even while the snout is down, and a tough, disc-like nose plus shovel hooves pry up roots and tubers. Calloused knee pads let them kneel to graze efficiently. Thin skin and sparse hair dump heat fast. And that little tail? It pops upright in flight, a living flag so piglets can lock on and follow the leader when predators attack. In the hard glare of a Malamala afternoon, warthogs run a tight schedule. Graze at first light and late day, loaf near bolt holes when the sun bites. They often drop to their knees to feed, calloused wrist pads turning tough turf and bulbs into lunch, snouts plowing, ears swiveling like periscopes. Every few minutes, heads pop up, tails flick, air gets sampled. Water and a quick mud wallow cool the engine and shed ticks. Then it is back to business with one eye on the grass and one on the wind. The calm is never casual. A female cheetah can wait 20 minutes in still grass, timing her sprint to the microsecond. When she erupts, the response is instant. A rasping bark from the mother, tails up like antennae, and the whole family pivots for cover. Piglets about 3 months old key off her angle and the brush line, breaking into sharp zigzags that spoil a sprinter's rhythm. A cheetah's top gear lasts only about 20 seconds. Stretch the chase to 30, and lungs write the ending. This time, the cat fades, sides heaving. The pigs vanish into thorn and shadow. No victory dance, just a dust cloud settling where teeth failed. Speed or strategy? What wins more often out here? Tell us in the comments. Warthog society is tidy and efficient. Females and their youngsters travel in sounders, mom at point, piglets in a neat line, tails hoisted like radio masts so nobody loses the channel. Adult males are mostly solo or in loose bachelor groups, swinging by only when breeding season stirs. Sounders keep overlapping home ranges stitched together by memory, favorite grazing lawns, reliable wallows, and a network of borrowed burrows, often old aardvark digs, backed into rump first for sleeping and safety. Defense is choreography with roles. At the first alarm, piglets dive for the center or sprint for the nearest hole. The mother drops to the rear guard, ready to wheel and slash with those razor lower tusks. She will escort youngsters between cover patches, pausing to listen, then nudging them on with soft grunts. Inside a burrow, she becomes a door, broad shoulders wedged, armored warts protecting her face, while any predator meets a tunnel tipped with knives. Among themselves, greetings are nose to nose, rank is quiet, and cooperation is practical. Share shade, share sentry duty, move as one. In a land of solo legends, warthogs prove that a tight family and a good exit plan beat bravado every time. Warthogs are the savanna's rough-cut gardeners. By kneeling to crop tough, silica-rich lawns, they trim rank grass into fresh, tender regrowth that draws in impala, wildebeest, and birds. When they dig for bulbs and roots, those shovel hooves churn soil, bury seeds, and aerate hardpan. Dung returns nutrients, and muddy wallows become pocket wetlands buzzing with insects. They are also prime prey, fuel for lions, leopards, hyenas, and the occasional cheetah, moving energy up the food chain. Survival tools are written into the frame. Explosive acceleration past 50 kilometers per hour, zigzag sprints that break a sprinter's rhythm, tails up follow-me flags for piglets, and a perfected burrow tactic. Reverse in, rump as shield, tusks as veto. Sparse hair dumps heat, thick facial warts protect in close fights, and curved tusks double as plow and blade. Listed as least concern, they still face snares, fencing, and drought. But in protected landscapes like Malamala, their system still hums. When predators attack, the warthog answers with grit and geometry, proof that in a land obsessed with speed, courage plus a clever line can turn the fastest chase into a quiet, dust-settling victory. Think prey means pushover? Tell that to a horned giant that can weigh a ton and still vault a fence in a single beat. Even lions do the math before they try this one. Meet the eland antelope of the southern Serengeti and the Ndutu Plains, the largest antelope on Earth, returning with the first rains. Long, spiraled horns and pillar-thick legs turn this grazer into a living tank with options: run, leap, or stand and fight. Painted in warm fawn and dusted with faint white stripes, the eland looks like the savanna sculpted into muscle. Mature bulls can stand up to 1.88 meters at the shoulder and tip the scales from 500 to over 1,000 kilograms. Yet they move with surprising grace. A heavy dewlap drapes the throat like a built-in radiator, helping shed heat under a humid, post-rain sky. Both sexes carry corkscrew horns, thick at the base, darker at the tips, perfect for parrying a predator's rush or sparring with rivals without shattering. Males darken along the neck and shoulders, a storm shadow of strength, and grow a bristled forehead tuft that cushions horn clashes. Broad, splayed hooves keep this heavyweight steady on slick, newly soaked ground, while spring steel tendons in the legs store and release energy, partly why an eland can clear a 2-meter barrier from a standstill. The hide along the neck and shoulders is dense, a natural shield where claws and teeth aim. Eland eyes are high and wide-set, giving a panoramic early warning system, and that long, mobile muzzle is a multi-tool, equally at home nipping green shoots after the rains or stripping leaves from thorny acacia without flinching. In a land of hunters, evolution gave the eland the hardest question of all. Are you sure? With the first October rains greening the Ndutu plains, eland switch from dusty endurance to fresh season efficiency. Dawn and dusk are prime time, cool air, tender shoots, and a brief window before lions clock in. They graze the new grass like lawnmowers with horns, then drift to browse acacia and forbs, using that long, precise muzzle to nip around thorns. Midday brings rumination in open shade, chewing the morning's harvest while oxpeckers inspect their hides like mobile maintenance crews. Eland are built for options. If danger is distant, they fade into a steady trot that eats ground with almost comical calm. If it is close, they launch, vertical, horizontal, whatever it takes. Rain-slick earth is no problem for those broad hooves, and the heavy dewlap sheds heat as the day warms. One signature tells you an eland is near before you see it. The deep knee click, a tendon snap that sounds like castanets in the grass. It travels on the wind, a metronome of movement, and for prowling lions, a reminder that this prey comes with a price tag. When predators attack, eland do not panic. They calculate, then pick the fastest exit or the sharpest angle of defense. Eland societies are flexible by design. Females and calves form large, loose herds that expand with the season, often shadowing wildebeest lines as the Ndutu grass flushes. Newborns begin life as hiders, tucked in cover while mothers slip back to nurse. A few weeks later, calves graduate to creche, playful nurseries guarded by many eyes and many horns. Adult females cooperate in motion and vigilance, bunching tight when the night grows noisy, then flowing apart as the plains feel safe again. Males run on 2 tracks. Younger bulls roam in bachelor bands, sparring politely and learning the rules. Mature, dark-shouldered bulls patrol the edges, advertising status with that famous knee click. The louder the click, the bigger the message. Courtship is more display than demolition. Parallel walking, a slow lateral show of bulk and dewlap, then measured horn wrestling that tests resolve without wasting lives. During a lion probe, herds pivot, calves center, cows form the moving wall, and a bull may stand broadside, horns forward, like a bouncer at the only door. In a world of sudden ambush, the eland's secret is not panic, it is practiced choreography. When the first October rains pull the herds back toward Ndutu, eland are among the earliest heavyweights to return, switching smoothly from dry season browsing to fresh grazing. That flexibility shapes the plains. They clip young grasses, open grazing lawns for smaller antelopes, and disperse seeds in nutrient-rich dung that jumpstarts the post-rain bloom. Broad hooves churn damp soil, helping new shoots take root, while oxpeckers ride along, pruning ticks and acting as living alarm bells. As prime biomass, eland also feed the food web. Calves and weakened adults factor into the calculations of lions and hyenas, spreading predator pressure across the landscape. Adaptations stack in their favor: heat-shedding dewlap, panoramic vision, moisture drawn from leaves when water is scarce, tendon knee clicks that broadcast condition, and corkscrew horns that turn a last stand into a serious negotiation. In a realm defined by sudden ambush, the eland embodies quiet strength and measured courage, a reminder that survival is not loud or flashy. It is calm, deliberate, and ready when the grass begins to move. A clear umbrella drifts like a daydream. Then 1,000 invisible harpoons fire at once. When predators attack, the brainless hunter answers first. Meet the jellyfish, the translucent phantom of Earth's oceans, from tropical lagoons to polar seas, from sunlit shallows to midnight zones. With stinging tentacles and, in many species, a ghostly glow, it turns simple anatomy into a surprisingly lethal strategy. Painted by near nothing, a jellyfish is mostly water held in a bell of gelatinous mesoglea, rimmed with tentacles and draped with oral arms. Radial symmetry keeps every angle ready. A soft umbrella pulses to push it forward or hover in place, letting currents do the heavy lifting. Along those tentacles lie batteries of nematocysts, microscopic spring-loaded capsules that, on contact, explode faster than almost any cell on Earth, firing barbed threads and venom that snare plankton, fish larvae, even small fishes. There is no heart and no brain, just a nerve net, statocysts for balance, and in some species, light-sensing ocelli, all tuned to a drifting life that wastes no energy. Many jellyfish glow. Deep-sea species can strobe in electric blues, and some even trigger a burglar alarm, flashing to attract a bigger predator to their attacker. Transparency is their cloak. The bell collapses flat for sudden dives, and trailing tentacles can break off as decoys. And when life gets rough, a few, like Turritopsis dorni, can rewind the clock, reverting from adult back to polyp to begin again. In an ocean ruled by ambush, simplicity becomes an edge, especially when predators attack. Life for a jellyfish is a drifting routine, tuned to the pulse of the sea. Most ride currents like living kites, pulsing their bells just enough to steer, while trailing tentacles like invisible drift nets. At night, many rise toward the surface buffet. Plankton, fish eggs, larvae, tiny crustaceans, then sink by day into dimmer water where fewer hunters cruise. Feeding is touch and take, a graze against a tentacle, a lightning strike from nematocysts. Then the conveyor belt of oral arms delivers the catch to the mouth. Some species glow blue, purple, even rainbow. In the deep, that bioluminescence can startle attackers or trigger a burglar alarm, flashing to summon a bigger predator to the scene. When predators attack, sea turtles, ocean sunfish, certain fishes, the jelly plays every simple card. It goes still to shrink the wake that gives it away, then snaps into faster pulses to slip aside. Tentacles can tear free and keep stinging as decoys. Transparency hides the body. A sudden flash may confuse the hunter long enough for the current to carry the phantom away. Jellyfish do not do family, but they do arrive in numbers. Blooms form when currents, temperature, and food align, thousands drifting together not from loyalty, but from physics and timing. Reproduction is a two-part life. The free-swimming medusa releases eggs and sperm into the water. Some species brood, yielding a pinhead planula that settles as a tiny polyp. When conditions are right, that polyp clones itself into a stack and strobolates, popping off baby epherae like living coins that grow into new medusae. A few species can even reverse the script. Turritopsis dorni, under stress, retreats from medusa back to polyp, rewriting age when survival demands it. Relationships are mostly practical. Juvenile fish often shelter beneath the bell, borrowing the jelly's stinging curtain as a shield. Hyper-eyed amphipods and small crabs hitchhike or nibble the feast. The ledger runs both ways. Turtles, sunfish, and even other jellies feed on them. And when predators attack, that sudden group glow in the dark can call in a third party. The ocean's rough version of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Jellyfish are ancient editors of the sea, trimming plankton swarms, fish eggs, and larvae, then becoming food for turtles, sunfish, and even other jellies. When blooms crash, jelly falls rain to the seafloor, feeding crabs, worms, and deep scavengers, recycling energy through the dark. Drifting by design, they ride currents and migrate up at night, down by day, helping shuttle carbon into deeper water. Their toolkit is elegant minimalism, a nerve net instead of a brain, statocysts for balance, transparency for stealth, and nematocysts, cells that fire venomous barbs in a blink. Many glow blue or violet, flashing burglar alarm light to lure a bigger hunter onto their attacker when predators attack. A two-phase life, polyp and medusa, spreads risk. Some, like Turritopsis dohrnii, can even reset to the polyp stage under stress. Warming and acidification now disturb this balance, tipping seas toward erratic blooms and fragile food webs. Older than dinosaurs, yet lighter than a sigh, the jellyfish turns simplicity into survival. Light against darkness, a sting against teeth. When predators attack, it endures. Our task is to keep the oceans steady, so even the oldest heartbeat without a heart can go on drifting. Forget fangs and speed. Tonight's most ruthless hunter moves with a whisper of sliding sand. The raid begins not with a charge, but with a hole. This is the aardvark of Malamala's moonlit savanna, the night shift specialist that wages silent war on termite empires. With a kangaroo-thick tail, rabbit-long ears, and a pig-like snout, it looks improbable, until a mound opens like a door. Built like a compact bulldozer, the aardvark wears coarse, earth-colored fur over a stout frame powered by massive shoulders. Forefeet end in shovel-like claws, evolution's spades, able to rip a termite citadel apart in minutes. The elongated snout hides closing nostrils and a labyrinth of nasal turbinates that supercharge smell while keeping dust and biting soldier ants out. Then comes the trump card. A glistening tongue up to 30 centimeters long, lacquered in sticky mucus, flicking in and out to sweep up as many as 50,000 termites and ants in a single night. Long, mobile ears act like twin radar dishes, hearing the faint scratch of insects below and the heavier footfall of trouble above, while also dumping heat when the night stays warm. Peg-like teeth at the back grind what little grit slips in. There are no incisors to get in the way of that vacuum hose tongue. When predators attack, lions, leopards, or hyenas, the aardvark's armor is escape by design. Vanish underground in seconds, reverse in, wedge the tunnel with a thick-skinned rump, and let those spade claws do the talking. As darkness settles over Malamala, the aardvark clocks in. It surfaces from a cool burrow, pauses, and samples the air like a sommelier of sand, sniffing for the faint vinegar note of termites and the acid trail of ants. Then it quarters the wind in slow zigzags, ears swiveling, claws ready. Some nights it follows busy ant highways, other nights it picks a fortress, one of those concrete hard mounds, and goes to work. In minutes the door is open, nostrils pinched shut, tongue lashing in slick, rapid strokes. "50,000 insects by sunrise is not unusual here. That is not gluttony, it is payroll. It will cover kilometers of ground, dropping into quick bolt holes it excavates along the way. Instant elevators if trouble arrives. When predators attack, lion shadow, leopard ghost, hyena chorus, the aardvark has two answers: vanish underground in a spray of sand, or reverse into a tunnel and present a thick, armored rump while those shovel claws turn the entrance into a bad idea. By day it is gone, sealed in a deep burrow 10 meters or more, ears folded, tail tucked, temperature steady. In drought or cold snaps it may edge into daylight or nose out the underground aardvark cucumber, another odd tool in a specialist's kit. Aardvarks live life, mostly solo. Home ranges overlap, but there is no parade. Just quiet avoidance and the occasional after-dark pass-by. They are not big on fences either. A few scent marks at burrow mouths say occupied, and that is enough. Courtship is brief and private, timed to local seasons. After about 7 months, the female gives birth to a single pink, wrinkled calf in the safety of a fresh burrow. For the first weeks, the youngster stays hidden. Then it follows its mother on short night lessons. How to listen to the ground, where to dig, when to run. Weaning comes around 3 months, independence near 6. By then, burrow hopping is second nature, and the world's dangers are a little less loud. Their real neighbors are tenants, those long, deep tunnels the aardvark engineers, today's refuge from lions, become tomorrow's housing market for mongooses, snakes, porcupines, even owls. Mothers choose burrows with multiple exits and move often to dodge parasites and keep predators guessing. When a leopard tests the door, cooperation is simple. The calf slips behind the mother's wall of muscle and rump, and the tunnel narrows to a place where claws, not fangs, own the night. In a landscape obsessed with speed, the aardvark survives by making new ground, literally. The aardvark is the savanna's night shift engineer. By raiding termite empires, up to 50,000 insects in a single night, It keeps colonies in check, freeing grasses from overgrazing and letting roots breathe. Every dig aerates soil, speeds water infiltration, and turns hard pan into seed beds. Every deep burrow, often more than 10 meters, becomes premium real estate for mongooses, snakes, porcupines, and owls. Its toolkit is purpose-built, shovel-like claws to tear concrete hard mounds, a 30-centimeter glue-slick tongue for rapid harvest, sealable nostrils and dust-filtering turbinates, big ears for surveillance and heat dump, and thick skin to shrug off bites. Nocturnality and a low energy budget stretch scarce water. When predators attack, it vanishes, reverse into earth, block with that armored rump, and let the tunnel become a fortress. Listed as least concern, it still faces drought, snares, and shrinking wild ground. In a land famous for roaring hunters, the aardvark is a whisper with teeth, an underworld architect and a symbol of quiet resilience. Even when predators attack, it reminds us that survival can be built, one clawful of earth at a time. When October rain kisses the basalt, the plain turns neon green almost overnight, and the ground begins to move. Not rivers of water, but rivers of hooves, and every predator tightens its focus. This is the blue wildebeest of the southern Serengeti and the Ndutu and Undutu Basin, migration's metronome. With a soot-dark face, ragged beard, and scimitar horns worn by both sexes, it is a grazer built for distance and decisions made at speed. Painted in steel gray with faint, smoky stripes and capped by a dark mane, the blue wildebeest looks like a storm cloud with legs. A heavy forequarter and sloping back give it that unmistakable profile. Muscle front-loaded to power sudden surges and long ground-eating trots. Both males and females carry thick, crescent horns that flare outward and curl back in, a double-purpose toolkit, jousting in the rut and presenting a serious problem to any lion that misjudges its angle. A pendulous dewlap helps shed heat when the midday sun bounces off new grass, while dense, shock-absorbing hooves drum confidently over basalt pans softened by first rains. The broad, square muzzle is evolution's lawnmower, perfect for cropping. Short, protein-rich shoots that explode after October showers. High-set eyes scan wide horizons, and ears pivot constantly, triangulating the low thunder of distant predators or the higher click of eland tendons. Calves hit the ground at around 19 kilograms and stand within minutes, legs spindly, but software preloaded for motion. Tendons and ligaments act like natural springs, storing energy to turn an entire herd into a moving wave. Built for endurance, tuned to rainfall, and armored with numbers, the wildebeest is the engine that pulls the plains back to life, one hoofbeat at a time. October rain wakes the Undutu Basin, and the wildebeest switch from survival mode to green season efficiency. Dawn and dusk are prime feeding windows, when cool air sits low and new shoots pack the most protein. Zebras mow the taller stems first. Wildebeest follow like precision trimmers, cropping the grass to a tight carpet. By late morning, they bed down to ruminate, hooves kneading the damp basalt pans, dung seeding the next wave of growth. Movement is the day's other rhythm, long, sinuous columns drifting toward fresher patches, then fanning out in loose arcs as bellies fill. Predators read the same calendar. Lions and hyenas shadow the edges, so the herds choose open ground where ambush is harder. At the first alarm grunt, the wave breaks. Bodies surge, then settle. Individuals jink and zigzag to throw off a chase. By late December into January, the nursery opens. Calves hit the ground and stand within minutes, wobbling forward under a wall of adult legs. The herd slows, concentrates, and grazes tighter, every mouthful a calculation between fuel and vigilance in a landscape where opportunity and danger arrive together. Wildebeest society is fluid by design, a fission-fusion system where groups braid and unbraid from dozens to tens of thousands in a day. There is no general in charge. Direction emerges from a chorus of small decisions: who steps, who follows, who balks, until the whole line leans toward greener wind. Mothers anchor the story. Calves are followers, bonding to a specific grunt and scent within hours. If separated, a shrill bleat cuts through the grass and the pair threads back together. During the calving weeks, cows bunch tighter, placing newborns in the safe middle, while vigilant adults take the flanks. Bulls play two roles. Outside the nursery months, especially in the rut, males stake short-lived territories along grazing routes, jousting with horn-to-horn shoves. In the Undutu wet season, many blend into mixed herds, adding eyes and horns to the moving fortress. Interspecies partners help too. Zebras at the front sample danger and stems. Gazelles profit from the cropped lawns behind. When predators attack, defense is mostly motion. Tight bunching, heads lowered to flash those crescent horns. Then a coordinated break that turns a million legs into confusion. It is crowd wisdom with a survival edge, perfected over thousands of seasons. When October rain wakes the basalt around Undutu, wildebeest become the plains engineers. A living river of 1.5 million hooves aerates the soil. Their dung fertilizes it, and close grazing trims dry fuel that would otherwise feed wildfires. In step with zebras and followed by gazelles, they create grazing lawns that reboot productivity for countless species. Synchronized calving in late December and January swamps predators with options, diluting risk while 19-kilogram calves stand within minutes to join the moving fortress. Energy-efficient gaits, shock-absorbing hooves, and rumens tuned to short, protein-rich chutes let them track rain with relentless endurance. Fission-fusion herding adapts instantly to patchy forage and prowling lions. Yet this engine faces headwinds, reduced Mara River flow, and shrinking grasslands. Community conservancies and watershed reforestation offer a fighting chance to keep the cycle turning. The wildebeest is the heartbeat of the migration, turning rain into motion, motion into life. Even when predators attack, their surge reminds us that resilience, not fear, drives the wild forward. A pink sea ripples, then tightens. One shadow at the shoreline, and thousands of wings flash black like sudden storm clouds. When predators attack, elegance sprints on stilts. Meet the flamingo, sovereign of harsh soda lakes and salt flats across Africa, South America, and Central Asia. A bird built for poison water and runway poses, it turns beauty into a survival tool when danger closes in. Painted by diet, not DNA, the flamingo wears sunrise, pinks and corals borrowed from carotenoids in algae and tiny crustaceans. In flight, secret black primaries flare like warning flags. Those backward knees are really long ankles above fully webbed feet, perfect for sprinting across water at takeoff and for snowshoeing soft mud. Thick, brine-proof skin on the legs shrugs off alkaline burn, while special salt glands above the eyes shed excess salt like tiny desalinizers. The neck, a living periscope of many vertebrae, scans wide horizons for crocs and jackals, then folds down to feed. That famous bill is a miracle of plumbing, hinged downward, lined with comb-like lamellae, and powered by a piston tongue that pumps water through a sieve to trap blue-green algae, brine shrimp, and diatoms, often upside down. Streamlined bodies, long legs, and quick wing beats turn mass panic into lift. One hard push, and the flock is skimming the surface, because in these lakes, grace must outrun teeth. Dawn lifts like steam off a soda lake, and the flamingos get to work. They wade out in lines, stirring the bottom with webbed feet to loosen algae and brine shrimp, then drop those elegant heads upside down. The tongue pistons, water sieves through the bill's combs, and breakfast becomes color. As heat builds, they loaf in the shallows, preen salt from feathers, and glaze their plumage with oil for waterproofing. The famous one-leg stance is not a fashion choice. It trims heat loss and lets tired muscles rest. When breeding season peaks, the shoreline turns into a chorus line, marching shoulder to shoulder, heads flagging, necks stretched skyward. Then, a sudden wing salute that flashes secret black primaries before the next step. Synchronized theater where the best movers win mates. When predators attack, jackal on the flat, hyena at dusk, an eagle or marabou aiming for a chick, the mood flips. Hundreds of necks shoot up, a ripple of alarm runs the flock, and stilts become springs. They sprint, splash, and run on water into a mass liftoff, or push the creche into stinging shallows where mammals hesitate and talons lose their angle. Flamingo life is built on crowds. Colonies swell to tens of thousands, and courtship is a team sport. Big display flocks march in sync so females can judge stamina and style. Bright pink means a good diet and strong health. Those with the richest hue and sharpest timing get noticed. Pairs usually bond for the season, then set up on low islands and sculpt cone-shaped mud nests. Both parents incubate, and both feed the chick a rich red crop milk. Within days, the gray fluffball joins a creche, nursery mobs of hundreds, guarded by rotating adults. Parents find their own chick by voice and face in the crowd, like two people spotting each other at a concert. When predators attack, numbers become armor. Many eyes spot danger early. Adults tighten around the creche, then either wheel skyward in a blinding pink spiral or herd the young into brine so corrosive that jackals and hyenas think twice. Synchronized panic is not chaos. It is a plan that makes a single target vanish into a moving sea of legs and wings. Flamingos are engineers of extreme lakes. Thousands of sieving bills harvest blue-green algae and brine shrimp, keeping blooms in check and turning sunlight-built biomass into pink feathers, guano, and motion. Their wading stirs sediments, oxygenates shallows, and ferries nutrients up the food chain to raptors, jackals, hyenas, and crocodiles that take adults and chicks. Even their losses feed marabous and fish. Mud cone nests lift eggs above caustic water and reshape micro-islands, seeding productivity for months. Adaptations are precision tools for poison water, supraorbital salt glands that drip brine, brine-tough legs, webbed feet for mud snowshoeing, and a reversed lamellate bill driven by a piston tongue to filter life from soup. Vigilant crowds, alarm ripples, and sprint takeoffs turn elegance into a coordinated shield when predators attack. Threats include water diversion, mineral extraction, disturbance, and disease. All color and bone and balance, the flamingo is beauty forged in brine, an athlete of the mirage. When predators attack, grace becomes thunder, reminding us that saving wild wetlands keeps the dance alive. The tallest shadow on the savanna also throws the deadliest kick. When predators attack, this watchtower turns into a wrecking crane with hooves. Meet the Maasai giraffe, Giraffa camelopardalis tipple-skirchi, of the Serengeti Maasai Mara and wider Kenyan plains. Unlike migrants that chase rain, giraffes hold their ground, claiming the best vantage points over acacia country. Sculpted for altitude, a mature male reaches about 5.5 meters, eye level with acacia crowns and well above trouble. Its coat is painted in jagged oak leaf patches, dark chocolate islands on tawny seas, each pattern as unique as a fingerprint, and beneath many patches, a web of vessels acts like thermal windows to dump heat. The neck is a marvel of familiar parts stretched to the extreme, 7 elongated vertebrae anchored by a powerful nuchal ligament that counterbalances the head. Up close, the toolkit is all thorn-proof finesse, a prehensile, bluish-black tongue nearly 45 centimeters long and a rubbery upper lip pluck leaves between spines, while thick saliva and tough mouth lining shrug off acacia barbs. Tufted ossicones crown the skull, thicker and more worn in males, doubling as sparring gear during necking bouts. Long piston legs end in dinner plate hooves, delivering kicks that can shatter a lion's ambitions. Inside, an 11-kilogram heart and high blood pressure feed that altitude. Valves and a sponge-like rete at the brain tame the rush when the head drops to drink. Eyes high, lashes long, ears keen, the whole frame is a lookout wrapped in camouflage. Unlike the great migrant herds, Maasai giraffes stay put and work the neighborhood, browsing their favorite acacias like regulars at a cafe with a perfect view. Dawn finds them ghosting between thorn crowns, black-blue tongues threading past spines to pinch new leaves, then pausing to ruminate. Cud rising, jaws cycling under the dapple of Vachelia and Commiphora. Their signature walk is a slow, sailing pace, both legs on one side, then the other, made for covering ground without drama. Heat climbs, and they manage it with shade, pale patches that vent warmth and strategic idleness. Water is optional. Juicy foliage keeps them hydrated for days. But when they do drink, the tripod, forelegs splayed, neck dipping, turns a skyscraper into a vulnerable fountain, so one watches while another drinks. Oxpeckers ride shotgun, plucking ticks and shouting heads up in feathered Morse code. And when predators attack, the switch flips, heads snap high, the column wheels, and those dinner plate hooves cut the air. A well-placed kick can turn a lion's charge into a rethink. Giraffe society is fission-fusion. No rigid herds, just loose, polite traffic that braids and parts across the same home ranges. Females anchor the map, often gathering in calm nursery groups where calves nap and play, while mothers browse in rotation. Daycare with hooves. Calves drop 2 meters at birth, then stand within an hour. Their first year is a gauntlet where vigilance and a towering escort means everything. Males run bachelor cliques or drift solo, testing the wind for opportunity. Courtship starts with a flamin' taste test of a female's urine. If timing is right, he courts. If not, he keeps walking. Rank is decided neck to neck. Low-intensity sparring looks like slow dance, but real contests swing skulls like wrecking balls, ossicones thudding ribs until one yields. Communication is subtle. Snorts, huffs, and a low nocturnal hum that seems to stitch the group back together by night. When predators attack, adults pivot to put height between danger and the young, a living palisade that says, "You want them, you come through me." Resident, not migrant, the Maasai giraffe reshapes its neighborhood day after day. By browsing high in acacia crowns, it prunes trees into umbrella shapes, triggers fresh leaf flush, and spreads seeds in well-fertilized packets, gardening the savanna from 5.5 meters up. Those tall necks double as early warning towers. A raised head and stare can ripple alarm through zebras, gazelles, and ostriches nearby. Calves feed lions and hyenas, while vigilant adults can end an ambush with a single bone-breaking kick, predator and prey dynamics balanced on long legs. Adaptations seal the deal. A 45-centimeter prehensile tongue, thorn-proof mouth, an 11-kilogram heart with pressure-taming valves, and a cranial reti, and heat-dumping oak leaf patchwork skin. In Kenya, only about 35,000 to 45,000 remain, roughly 7,100 in the Masai Mara, down nearly 50% in recent decades from deforestation, human-wildlife conflict, poaching, and infrastructure. The Maasai giraffe is now listed as endangered, pushing conservation corridors and community protection from nice to have to non-negotiable. When predators attack, the giraffe becomes a living citadel, silent, towering, and suddenly unstoppable. It stands as a symbol of composed power and fragile abundance, reminding us that saving height on the horizon is saving hope for the plain. A branch becomes a question mark, and the answer arrives faster than a blink. When predators attack, this hunter answers first, with fangs that fold like switchblades. Meet the pit viper, icon of ambush, especially the green pit vipers of Southeast Asia, with close cousins across the American tropics. Emerald scales, a broad triangular head, and heat-sensing pits turn a still body into a perfect trap in the forest's dappled light. Sculpted for the canopy, green pit vipers wear the forest itself, neon to mossy greens washed with lemon or white side stripes, a cream belly for counter shading, and in some species a russet or red tail tip that glows like a fuse. The head is unmistakable, wide and wedge-shaped with heavy brow scales that cast a permanent frown, slit pupils for night work, and the namesake L'Oreal pits, tiny thermal cameras that read warm blood against cool leaves. Keeled scales break up reflections, so the snake looks more like bark than skin, and a prehensile tail anchors it to twigs during patient stakeouts. Inside the jaw, Solenoglyphus fangs hinge forward on command, long, hollow, and needle-sharp, precision plumbing to deliver venom and then fold neatly away. Color can shift a shade or two with mood and temperature, helping the body disappear in sun or shadow. All of it funnels into a single moment. The S-coil tightens, the mouth opens, the strike lands in a fraction of a second. Bite, release, vanish. Because in a world of ambush and counter-ambush, the perfect attack is also the perfect defense. Twilight is pit viper time. By day, a green pit viper becomes a leaf, motionless on a branch, head resting on coils, heat pits and slit pupils half closed. At dusk it wakes, slides into an S-shaped ambush, and lets the forest do the walking. Frogs, roosting birds, and small rodents make the mistakes. The snake does not chase. It reads body heat with the L'Oreal pits, lines up with pinpoint precision, then fires a strike measured in milliseconds. Inject, release, and wait. Venom goes to work on nerves and muscles, and the viper tracks the fading trail with tongue flicks, following scent and warmth to a quiet meal. On rainy nights, it patrols low shrubs where amphibians collect. In drought, it hangs over game trails and rodent runs. Juveniles often wiggle a bright tail tip as a lure, a tiny worm that brings dinner within range. When predators attack, raptors, civets, or a curious macaque, the plan is camouflage first, then a rapid bluff. Flatten the head, mouth agape, tail vibrating against leaves. If pressed, it may strike defensively or simply let go and drop into cover, the living ribbon becoming a fallen twig. Green pit vipers live solo, each snake tracing a quiet circuit of perches and pathways. They talk in chemistry more than sight. Pheromone trails and tongue-flicked messages guide males to females when the season turns. Courtship is cautious. Males may engage in a slow, upright wrestling match to settle rights, more shove than bite. Unlike many snakes, most pit vipers give birth to live young. Eggs develop internally, and after months of gestation, the female delivers fully armed neonates that disperse almost at once. There is no nursery. Survival is the lesson plan. Juveniles lean heavily on ambush and tail luring, while they are still bite-sized to many hunters. Relationships are edged. They trim populations of rodents, birds, and frogs. In turn, crested serpent eagles, king cobras, monitors, and mongooses prey on them. When predators attack, stillness is the shield and speed the fallback. With humans, the viper loses more often. Habitat cut away, snakes collected for trade. It does not pursue conflict. Most bites are defensive, a last resort from a specialist built to wait, not to war. Pit vipers sit mid-tier in the forest's power grid, quiet regulators that trim rodents, frogs, and small birds, protecting seedlings and even curbing crop loss and disease spread. In turn, they feed raptors, king cobras, civets, and mongooses, moving energy up the ladder. Their toolkit is ambush perfected, heat-sensing l'Oreal pits rid warm bodies in cool shade, keeled, leaf-matched scales erase reflections, a prehensile tail moors them to branches, and solenoglyph fangs deliver a fast inject and release dose that immobilizes prey while the snake tracks the fading heat trail. Many give birth to live young, a hedge against harsh nesting sites in wet forests. When predators attack, stillness and camouflage come first. If pressed, a lightning bluff or drop to the understory buys another chance. The real danger is human. Shrinking habitat and illegal trade cut away both the hunter and the balance it maintains. A ribbon of patience with a switchblade smile, the pit viper embodies precision, showing that in a world of sudden teeth, survival belongs to those who wait, then strike. Protect the forest, and this silent answer to when predators attack keeps the night in balance. A leopard's shadow reaches for a ribbon of gold, then, in a blink, the crown is gone. When predators attack, the forest emperor swaps pageantry for parkour. Meet the golden pheasant of western China's dense forests, a male dressed like sunrise with a silk fall crest, and a female in leaf brown camouflage. His beauty is a beacon in courtship, and sadly, a bullseye for hunters. Hers is invisibility perfected. The male looks hand-painted by dawn, a golden yellow crest cascading down the nape, a coppery orange mantle barred in black like a lacquered cape, emerald back, scarlet underparts, and a long vermiculated tail that trails like a brushstroke. Up close, each feather is engineered theater. Iridescent plates catch low forest light and flip it into fire, a signal designed to stop a peahen mid-stride. Yet the costume comes with an escape clause. Short, rounded wings deliver explosive, vertical takeoff to the nearest bough, while powerful thighs favor sprinting through bamboo over long flight. That long tail is not just glamour. It acts as a rudder for tight turns when a leopard or civet lunges. Males carry small tarsal spurs for close shoves. The female's palate flips the script. Mottled browns and barred stripes dissolve into leaf litter, protecting her nest. Wide-set eyes scan nearly all around. Acute hearing catches the whisper of a hawk. Beauty attracts. Design survives, especially when predators attack. Dawn flips the switch on the forest floor. Golden pheasants drop from roosts to the bamboo edge, scratching through leaf litter for seeds, tender shoots, berries, and beetles, with the odd grasshopper or grub for protein. They are ground runners first, flyers second. Most travel is a low, quick dash stitched together with freezes and head-up scans. By late morning, there is preening and a dust bath to keep parasites at bay. Then they melt into shade to loaf through the heat. Come spring, the male turns a clearing into a theater. He orbits the female in slow steps, crest raised, orange cape flared over his face like a fan, tail sweeping as he keeps the sun behind him so his colors ignite. Soft, metallic notes pulse between rattling wing flicks, a show tuned for close range. When predators attack, a leopard's paw silent glide, a civet's slink, a hawk's stoop, the switch flips again. First, freeze. If the shadow keeps coming, the cock bolts, tail acting as a rudder as he slaloms through bamboo or explodes in a short, thunderous climb to a low branch and vanishes into green. In this forest, pageantry survives by split-second decisions. Outside the breeding season, golden pheasants keep easy company, loose foraging parties that string out along trails and roost a few meters apart in the same trees. As spring arrives, the truce spaces out. Males carve small display courts along paths and sunny clearings, advertising to any passing hens. It is polygyny, not partnership. One male may win several mates, while younger cocks practice on the sidelines. Confrontations are mostly posture and sprint, with brief spur swipes if someone refuses the memo. The peahen's world is secrecy. She chooses a ground nest tucked under shrub or bamboo, lays a clutch, often 6 to 10 eggs, and handles the whole job herself. Roughly 3 weeks of incubation, then shepherding a troop of precocial chicks that can run and peck within hours. She speaks in soft clucks. They answer and follow, vanishing as a unit when danger stirs. When predators attack, her playbook is simple and effective. Press flat till the last moment, then burst forward to lead the threat away while the brood threads into cover. Group life helps. The more eyes, the sooner the alarm, and even neighboring birds' warnings are folded into their decisions. In a forest of ambush, Cooperation and camouflage are the family business. On the forest floor of western China, golden pheasants are litter turners and seed couriers. Scratching for seeds, shoots, berries, and beetles, they aerate soil, speed decomposition, and drop viable seeds along trails. Tiny edits that help the understory renew. They are also calories on legs for leopards, civets, and hawks, a bright link moving energy up the web. Adaptations keep pace with risk. Females wear perfect leaf brown camouflage for invisible nesting. Males gamble on color for courtship, but keep sprint-strong thighs, short rounded wings for explosive lift, and a long tail that rudder's hairpin escapes through bamboo. Wide-set eyes and keen hearing catch the faintest stalk. High roosts and a freeze-then-bolt routine buy the seconds that matter when predators attack. Poaching and forest loss still shadow that brilliance. When predators attack, the golden pheasant answers with silence, a zigzag, and the thunder of short wings. Pageantry turned survival. It is a living ember in green dusk, reminding us that beauty endures only where forests are guarded. What if the best armor is not thick skin, but a living barcode that scrambles a hunter's aim? When lions charge, the plane turns to static, and the signal gets lost. Meet the plains zebra of the Serengeti's western corridor and South Africa's Malamala savanna, the striped pioneers that lead the grazing front. Each animal wears a one-of-a-kind pattern, camouflage in motion, and a warning label to biting flies. Painted by nature in ink and ice, the zebra's black and white stripes ripple from muzzle to fetlock, no two patterns alike. When herds bunch and run, those stripes merge into motion dazzle, a visual glitch that makes it hard for predators to single out a target. There is more to the palette than beauty. The way stripes reflect polarized light helps throw off tsetse and horseflies, tiny vampires that carry dangerous diseases. A stiff, upright mane and a barrel of spring-loaded muscle crown a frame built for both sprint and stamina. Zebras can hit about 65 kilometers per hour and hold a punishing trot when they must. Wide-set eyes give panoramic awareness, swiveling ears track rustles like twin antennae, and flared nostrils flood a big engine with air. Evolution fitted the mouth for the job. A broad, tough muzzle and high-crowned teeth turn coarse, dry grass into fuel, letting zebras act as pioneer grazers that open lawns for wildebeest and gazelles behind them. Beneath the stripes, fine-scale blood flow and sweating help manage heat, and a well-developed hippocampus, the brain's map room, supports razor-sharp spatial memory for water, roots, and safe crossings. When predators attack, those stripes, hooves, and lungs work as one. Confusion up front, horsepower out back, and a kick that can break a lion's math. From April to June, as the western corridor dries to gold, zebras pivot into travel mode. They are the pathfinders of the migration, moving west, then north, with the first big columns of wildebeest behind them. Dawn and dusk are prime. Cool air, sharp-edged grasses, and fewer heat mirages to hide lions. Zebras take the tougher stems first, cropping them to a carpet that invites the wildebeest wave. By late morning they rest, dust bathe, and keep eyes high. They need water most days, so roots thread reliably toward rivers, and pans they remember with uncanny precision. That memory is not luck, it is the hippocampus working like a living map. Risk spikes at the drink. In Malamala's golden hour, 6 lionesses can disappear in grass that looks too short to hide a mouse. A pale-maned young male loops the back door. One alarm bark, and the plan changes. Heads up, ears forward, then ignition. The herd detonates into organized chaos. Zigzags, sudden stops, a wall of stripes that turns a single target into static. Foals pivot to the middle. Adults angle to open ground, and at 65 kilometers per hour, the window for a clean takedown slams shut. When predators attack, zebras do not just run, they rewrite the picture. Plains zebra society is built around harems, a dominant stallion, several mares, and their foals traveling as a tight unit within the larger herd. Bonds are real, mutual grooming along the neck and withers cements friendships, and each individual knows its partners by stripe, scent, and voice. Mares carry foals for 12 to 13 months. Within hours of birth, a youngster is on its feet, locked onto its mother's pattern and call, because hesitation here has teeth. Bachelor males orbit the margins, sparring and shadowing, until a chance opens to win or recruit a mare. Defense is choreography. At the first alarm, harems bunch, foals go center, mares form the bodyguard, and the stallion drops to the rear or flanks, ears flat, ready to wheel and kick or charge to buy the herd seconds. One sharp bark can ripple through hundreds of bodies, turning a loose gathering into a disciplined stampede. Zebras also travel with wildebeest by design. Zebras clear the coarse grass and spot danger early. Wildebeest add numbers and ears. Against prides like Malamala's Kambula, that cooperation and cohesion are often the difference between a narrow escape and a silent patch of trampled grass. As the western corridor dries from April to June, zebras step first onto the brittle lawns, cropping silica-rich stems and unlocking tender regrowth for wildebeest, topi, and gazelles. Broad hooves crack soil crusts. Seed-rich dung fertilizes the next flush, and daily treks to water-carved corridors other species follow, predators included. Their stripes are multi-tools, motion-dazzle scrambles. A lion's aim, polarized light reflections throw off tsetse and horseflies, and the dark light pattern may help manage heat at the skin's surface. A hindgut fermenting engine digests coarse forage quickly. High-crowned teeth shrug off abrasion. Big hippocampi map rivers and known fords, knowledge that stitches seasons together. When predators attack, Kambala lions in Malamala, or ambush teams on the Serengeti, the zebra's plan is collective. Tight cohesion, 65 km/h acceleration, zigzags, and bone-breaking kicks. Rising threats are more insidious than claws. Snares, fences, and shrinking water sever these ancient roots. A zebra is thunder wrapped in barcodes, order inside chaos. Even when predators attack, they show that courage can be shared, and that survival is written in black and white across the open savanna. No claws, no fangs, just thunder. When predators attack, this little northern powerhouse answers with balance, stamina, and a gear most horses do not even have. This is the Icelandic horse, forged on wind-swept grasslands and lava flats at the edge of the Arctic. Famous for 5 gaits, including the cloud-smooth tilt and a blistering flying pace that can touch 50 km/h. It turns sure-footed speed into its shield. Sculpted by cold and distance, the Icelandic horse is compact and muscular, often around 13 to 14 hands, with a deep chest, short, sturdy legs, and dense bone built for rough ground. A thick double coat, oily guard hairs over a woolly underlayer, armors it against sleet and biting winds, while that big, wind-tossed mane and tail add extra insulation along the neck and hindquarters. Hooves are hard as basalt and naturally well-shaped, gripping slick turf, frozen ruts, and broken lava, where a misstep could be a sentence. Wide-set eyes and swiveling ears keep a 360-degree watch. The broad forehead and straight profile house sinuses that warm, brutal air before it hits the lungs. Nature painted them in nearly every shade: black, chestnut, dun, gray, camouflage against snow-patched hills and dark volcanic stone. And then the secret weapons. Tilt, a 4-beat glide that stays smooth over bad footing, and the explosive flying pace. A lateral sprint for short, decisive bursts when a fast exit is the only answer to teeth in the mist. Most days begin with wind. Icelandic horses turn their thick rumps to the gusts, fluff that double coat, and get on with the business of grazing, slow, steady, and for hours. They thread across lava fields and tussock grass like a tide, noses low, snipping tough grasses and herbs that other breeds might ignore. In winter, they paw neat craters through crusted snow to reach the forage below, then drink at ice-rimmed streams, sometimes breaking a skim of ice with those rock-hard hooves. Movement is energy management. Tilt to cover rough ground without jarring joints, short canters for play and warmth, then back to a fuel-saving walk. They nap standing, lock-kneed and ready, and roll in dust or snow to clean skin and reset the coat's loft. Ears swivel, eyes scan. In a country where weather is the main predator, vigilance is a habit. When predators attack, or try to, instinct kicks in. A fox or loose dog testing the edges meets a wall of horses wheeling as one, mares bunching foals to the center while the stallion or a bold gelding pins ears, lashes out with front strikes and bone-rattling kicks. If a fast exit is smarter, the herd slides into tult and simply disappears over the next ridge, flying pace reserved for the rare, flat-out sprint. Like all horses, Icelandics organize their world around the herd. A typical band centers on several mares and their offspring, with a resident stallion. And it is often an older, savvy lead mare who chooses when and where to move. Bonds are braided through time, mutual grooming along the withers, soft knickers, nose-to-nose greetings, and the quiet comfort of sleeping close. Foals arrive after an 11-month wait, usually in late spring when grass returns. They stand within minutes and memorize mom's scent and voice fast. Other mares often play auntie, hovering while the dam grazes, and the stallion patrols the perimeter, driving off nosy rivals with arched neck, snorts, and the promise of teeth. Young males peel off into bachelor groups, wrestling and learning the rules before challenging for mares. Across Iceland, many herds still summer free on highland commons, then return during autumn roundups, Retter, where family bands resort themselves amid a swirl of hoofbeats and human voices. When predators attack, be it a fox eyeing a newborn or ravens testing a placenta, the band tightens. Mares form a living ring, heads out, and the stallion charges. Ears pinned, jaws ready, hind hooves loaded like sledgehammers. It is not bravado, it is a plan. And if the threat lingers, terrain is a teammate. High ground for a wider view, a smooth tult to reposition, and the kind of collective calm that keeps panic from doing the predator's work for it. On Iceland's open heaths and lava grasslands, the horse is a quiet gardener. Summer herds clip tough grasses and sedges into a living mosaic that benefits ground-nesting birds and pollinators. Manure returns nutrients to thin volcanic soils and feeds armies of beetles and flies. Seeds hitch rides in mane and tail or pass in dung to sprout where hooves have gently scarified the turf. In winter, those same hooves punch wells through crusted snow so the herd can graze, exposing forage others then use. Their tool set is built for this job. A compact frame that sips energy, a double coat that shrugs off sleet, basalt-hard hooves, and the unique gaits, tolt for efficient, non-jarring travel over rough ground, flying pace for short, decisive escapes. When predators attack, usually foxes, marauding dogs, or the very weather itself, horses answer as a unit. Ring the foals, face outward, strike and kick, or flow away at speed. Isolation laws that forbid importing other horses have kept the breed genetically pure and disease-light. But climate change, pasture shifts, and disturbance remain modern tests of an ancient partnership. Forged by wind and time, the Icelandic horse is a symbol of endurance and a reminder that when predators attack, whether claws or storm, survival can be grace in motion and strength in togetherness. Protect the land that shaped them, and their 5-gate heartbeat will keep the North alive. An orca's fin slices a black lead. On the ice above, a white ghost holds its breath. When predators attack, the beluga turns camouflage, ice, and echo into a survival plan. This is the beluga whale of the Arctic Ocean, cloak of pure white against broken ice, voice like a choir beneath the floes. Calves arrive gray-blue and only fade to snow over 5 to 7 years. Nicknamed the storyteller of the sea, belugas trade more than 50 kinds of calls, whistles, clicks, and chirps that help them reunite lost calves, navigate, and warn of danger when the hunters close in. Sculpted by the cold, the beluga is a compact 3 to 5 meter whale wrapped in thick insulating blubber and painted winter white, a living snowdrift that slips unseen among floes. Unlike most whales, its neck vertebrae are not fused, so the head can swivel like a periscope to scan ice holes, predators, and paths. The forehead melon is a flexible acoustic lens, reshaping with each click to focus sonar beams that map fish, ice tunnels, and the telltale silence of an ambush. There is no tall dorsal fin to snag or shed heat. Instead, a low ridge slides under ice and even helps punch through thin crust to breathe. Broad paddle flippers and a powerful fluke deliver tight turns in maze-like leads, while conical teeth grip slippery Arctic cod and capelin when the coast is clear. As calves, the gray-blue coat blends with deeper water. As adults, white erases them against the ice. Both stages built for the moment a shadow becomes an attack. In a changing Arctic now loud with ships, that voice and that echo are their lifeline. Under endless summer light, belugas thread the maze of leads and polynyas like locals who know every shortcut. They hunt low in the water column for Arctic cod, capelin, shrimp, and squid, sweeping the dark with rapid-fire clicks from that flexible melon, then sealing the deal with a quick gulp and a turn. In winter, they shuttle between breathing holes, surfacing in tight rhythm, steam huffing into the cold. Come July, many populations pour into shallow estuaries to calve, nurse, and molt, rubbing pale skin on gravel bars like whales at a day spa. Between meals, they travel, socialize, and keep up a running commentary. The storyteller of the sea really does narrate its day. But the tone changes when predators attack. An orca's sonar ping or the shadow of a tall dorsal fin flips them to stealth mode. Calls drop to a whisper or stop. The pod bunches, calves centered, and bolts for shallows or broken ice where killer whales struggle to follow. Belugas can hold their breath for minutes, snake under crust, and pop up at scattered air holes. At the flow edge, they keep distance, knowing polar bears can wait there for hours. Beluga society runs on family and flexibility. Pods are usually matrilineal, mothers, calves, aunties, and older sons traveling together, then fusing into super groups of hundreds or thousands in summer bays. Bonds are tight. Adults babysit, escort newborns to safe water, and answer lost calf calls with a chorus you can feel through the hull. Males often form their own roaming bands, rejoining the crowd during the estuary season. Knowledge is heirloom here, routes to traditional calving sites, the safest leads through winter ice, and which bays offer gravel for molting are passed down the family line. Communication is the glue. With more than 50 call types, whistles, chirps, trills, and clicks, they coordinate travel, swap babysitting duties, and when danger looms, issue sharp alarms or fall silent together. Against orcas, they tighten ranks and navigate to ice-cluttered water. Against polar bears, they avoid predictable holes and spread breathing to many vents. One hard truth shadows these relationships. Noise from ships and industry can drown their voices, masking reunions and warnings. In a world of hunters, the beluga's best defense is many minds linked by sound and the space to hear each other. Belugas stitch Arctic food webs together. As versatile predators, they trim schools of Arctic cod, capelin, shrimp, and squid. As prey, they feed orcas and the occasional polar bear, and their carcasses fuel foxes and gulls. Summer pilgrimages into estuaries ferry ocean nutrients inland. Every plume of waste fertilizes plankton blooms, that feed fish nurseries. Their toolkit is pure Arctic, snow-white camouflage among floes, thick blubber, no dorsal fin to snag under ice, a flexible neck to scan leads, and a shape-shifting melon that paints the world with echolocation. Social smarts complete the set, tight formations, tactical silence, and dashes into ice-choked shallows when predators attack. But melting ice erases those refuges, and ship noise jams their storyteller calls, blunting warnings and reunions when they are needed most. The beluga reminds us that in a world of hunters, survival can be a chorus: memory, family, and the quiet between the flows. When predators attack, the white ghost endures if we keep the ice and give their voices room to be heard. Storm heat leans on the plains. Dust hangs, the river sweats brown muscle, and the bank trembles under hooves. 100,000 hearts weigh a single decision. Across the water, the promise of grass. Between, silence shaped like jaws. The first wildebeest steps. 1, 2. The herd pours. Water detonates. Spray, horns, panic. A log is not a log. Nile crocodile. It rises with ancient patience, mouth opening like a gate to the past. Bite, roll. A calf vanishes in a bloom of bubbles. Another finds footing on a hidden stone and staggers on, lungs burning, eyes white with the mathematics of survival. On the far bank, lionesses flatten in the thorn. Tails tick. They read the flow, pick the weak, then explode from shadow. One missteps in mud, another corrects, and a zebra kicks like a piston, buys 3 seconds for a friend. Hyenas ride the margins, ears up, futures already counted in their heads. Overhead, a fish eagle carves the air, and marabou storks stand like undertakers too polite to look away. Some make it. Many make it. Not all. The river keeps its tithe. The grassland pays it forward. Those who climb the far bank shake off the weight of water and fall into a trot that looks like relief. The pride eats. Crocodiles sink into silence. Vultures coil down to finish what was started. Nothing is wasted. Not here. And this is the true face of when predators attack, not villainy, equations. Heat against muscle, hunger against distance, timing against terror. In other corners of the world, the same laws whisper through different bodies. Orcas corralling a seal off a berg, wolves dividing wind and elk on snow, falcons turning gravity into a blade over a city roof. The methods change, the stakes do not. We have traveled with ambushers and sprinters, color speakers and night listeners, bone and feather and fin. What they share is discipline, waiting, reading, choosing the one moment that matters. Our part is to keep the stage intact, rivers connected, wetlands breathing, forests layered, seas unbroken. Back the rangers, respect the corridors, vote for clean water, and leave fewer hooks, nets, and snares in the world. If this journey moved you, tap subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments which hunt stunned you most and where you are watching from. Share this with someone who knows the sound a heartbeat makes when a river begins to boil. The episode ends, the calculus continues. Night folds over the plains, and the first stars light 1,000 quiet decisions. In the dark, hunger and hope keep walking, and the wild writes its next line.